So good as the Dottie. And this short little video, we're going to be talking about remote collars and what a remote collar does and the best way to be able to use it to be able to communicate with our pet. So remote collars have come a long way. People like to refer to them as a shock collar. The ones back in the 1980s were shock collars. Like they had a very short but high energy spike that would hurt. So just like an electric fence or a cattle prod, they actually did shock, they did hurt. These, however, have come a long way. These are multifunctional. They have all kinds of stuff built in, like lights. All right. They have a vibrate function. You can't really feel it, but it's vibrating. You see the light coming on. And then they have a stimulation. So a stimulation, this one's locked in at 5, even though it's going up higher. It's actually not. It never goes past 5 for Dot. So the stimulation is like a TENS unit. So anybody who's ever been to a chiropractor, they know what a TENS unit is. And every piece of equipment I put on my dogs, I always use on myself to make sure that they are used correctly. And we use low-level stimulant, right? You can see my arm going up and down, but that's actually my finger pressing on the button. If you press and hold, see it's not moving. And you're going to feel it differently on different parts of your body. Your arm on the inside is going to feel it differently than your arm on the outside, and it's going to be different than on the palm of your hand. That's because your skin is different all over your body. Anybody who has a tattoo, they know that some places are real tender and some places aren't. Same thing with our pups. Their necks are different than our necks. Their necks have real thick skin, so it doesn't feel the same on their neck as it does to anywhere else on their body or for us. If I was to put this on her belly, it's going to feel different than it is on her neck, okay? So this tool does the same thing that other tools do, and that is it uses pressure in a form of vibration and in a form of electronic stimulation. Not shock, but you know, you've got a TENS unit on, so it doesn't hurt, but it does, you can feel it, right? So this allows us to be able to communicate with our pups at a distance, because we have 1 second to be able to communicate yes or no of a behavior that we want, our boundaries, right? They all need boundaries, good boundaries and bad boundaries, and we need to be able to communicate that to them. So this tool enables us to be able to communicate with our pups at distance, to be able to say no, or to get their attention to say, come on. So we can use a vibrate, we can use a stimulation, right? Dot here is so intelligent, we never ever need to use the stimulation on her. She's a vibrate only. She actually is so well trained that normally all we need is a verbal to be able to get her to do things. Dot, sit, down, good girl, stay, heel, good girl, come, heel, up, sit, down, good girl, Dottie. Even with the distraction, even without having to use the remote, she's intelligent enough and understands our communication that she's able to follow our instructions even with high distractions like pupper ducks or ducks and geese or cars or whatever else is around. Oh, that's a really pretty sunset.